guys, it's ASBYT and this is the brand new iPhone 12. I've been using it roughly for around a week or so now, and to be honest, I'm kind of confused. I'm not really sure why they've done this. What am I talking about? Let's dive. So Apple released their Excuse me? Can I help you? Get down. So Apple released half of their brand new iPhone 12 series last week, including the iPhone 12 Pro, which I've already reviewed, and this here, standard iPhone 12. They're also dropping the 12 Pro Max and 12 Mini in a couple of weeks, sub for the videos on those. Why the split release? Well, quite frankly, I'm not quite sure, but who am I to question Big Tim? These four phones all range in terms of price, but the difference between the four phones in terms of quality is now smaller than ever, probably confusing a lot of you as to which one you should actually buy. So let's break it down. Now, a lot of the fundamentals of the 12 are the same as the 12 Pro. So we have basically the exact same squared off finish to the frame, resembling the iPhone 4/5 era. We have an almost identical bezel size, notch, button placements, antenna bands, stereo speaker placements, and the same dimensions pretty much across the board. We have the same 6.1-inch OLED display with a resolution of 1170 by 2532. And the glass on the 12 is the new ceramic shield material also that Apple have introduced this year, which apparently makes it 4 times stronger when it comes to drops, even if scratching your phone will probably be just as easy. And yes, the standard 12 only has a 60Hz refresh rate as opposed to the 120Hz that we have on the Pro model. Oh yeah, we only have 60 on there as well. Yeah, I really think that they should have upped the Pro model to 120Hz this year, like we've seen on the iPad Pros for pretty much the last 2 years. That would have given the 12 Pro an extra edge in terms of what you get for that extra £300. And this is a reoccurring theme throughout the whole of the two phones, as you'll see. It's only really the weight of the two phones that differ from a physical point of view, as the less durable aluminium frame on the 12 is lighter than the stainless steel on the Pro, and of course the camera module only contains 2 lenses to the 3 plus the Lidar scanner that you get on the Pro. You have the exact same primary 12 megapixel sensor on both and the same 12 megapixel ultra wide angle lens also. The 12 Pro does have a telephoto lens which offers 2 times optical zoom, making zoom shots slightly sharper, but you do still have digital zoom on the 12, and to be honest, at only 2 times optical, I don't think that would necessarily be a huge feature that you would be missing out on. If it were 4 times or 5 times that we've seen from some other smartphone manufacturers over the last couple of years, then yes, this might have been a bigger issue, but to be honest, at 2, maybe not. You get the new Smart HDR feature with the iPhones this year, and photos generally look slightly sharper and more detailed with less noise, but you won't largely notice the difference from last year's models. You can now shoot Dolby Vision HDR video, producing greater details in the shadowy areas whilst limiting overexposure in those bright spots. This, as well as the some 700 million colours the new iPhone can capture, compared to the 16 million of SDR video, means quite simply videos look stunning. Edge detection on portraits is still not amazing with the 12 series, but image focusing does seem better, so less motion blur with moving targets, but colour temperature like with the Pro is still far too saturated in the red tones and turning me into a bit of a tomato meme. The standard 12 doesn't have the, as mentioned already, really impressive Lidar scanner, which could be really impressive in the future, but currently right now kind of isn't really. You'll see what I mean. Like with the introduction of Soli on the Google Pixel 4 last year, the Lidar scanner is potentially brilliant for future possibilities, but right now, it only really improves focusing and portrait shots in low light, and in an AR sense. So it may help with certain future games, etc., and slightly better camera performance in certain scenarios, but again, is this feature worth spending an extra £300 for? And speaking of gaming, on the whole, there will be absolutely no difference in performance between the two phones really whatsoever. They both use the very latest Apple A-14 Bionic chip, which is absolutely breathtaking at times. It will cut through big gaming titles, social media use, and emails, etc., like razor-sharp scissors through paper. Multitasking might struggle slightly more on the standard 12 due to the fact that we only have 4GB of RAM compared to the 6 on the Pro, and there is less storage on the minimum configuration at only 64GB, but in truth, iOS 14 runs incredibly smooth on both. Animations are as slick as ever, and while yes, I use an iPhone and an Android phone every single day, and there are still certain gestures I don't quite like on iOS and prefer on an Android side, the software experience on the whole on the iPhone 12 series is really good. If you are one of these people that's going to be gaming a lot, on social media a lot, and basically your display is constantly always on, then battery life is going to be a hugely important feature for you as well. And here is where things get that little bit more confusing again. The iPhone 12 in my testing lasts longer than the 11 in terms of battery, around half an hour or so of screen on time, taking it up to between 5 and 6 hours. But the 12 Pro has been giving me less battery than the 11 Pro and slightly less, very minuscule, pretty much the same, but I feel slightly less than the standard 12. Considering they both have the same 2,815 mAh battery capacity is a bit bizarre, and that is less than last year's models as well. So that's a bit disappointing, especially if you're going to be using the 5G that both can do. And as I said in my 12 Pro review video, as good as all of the 12 phones are this year, the actual lineup as a whole seems a little bit of a mess. Like, they're all just so similar. And using just that one battery point as a scenario, the standard model in any lineup should never ever be able to compete, if not be slightly better, than a Pro model at anything. And battery is quite a big feature, so that's just a bit odd. What does Pro actually mean anymore? You get the same fast charging on both, the same wireless charging on both, not that either come with a charger in the box, of course, something that today's video sponsor Anker can help with, but more info on that in a second. And both phones have the same IP68 water and dust resistant rating as well. I just don't understand. Like I said at the start, whether you're an Apple fan or not, and the comment section will be split, believe you me, objectively the whole of the 12 series of phones are great phones, regardless of whether the prices, the software, etc., the subjective things are your cup of tea, or Coke, or beer, or whiskey. Wow, how did we get here? That's gone far too far. Let's draw that back in. Great phones across the board, but I definitely don't feel there's enough on the Pro this year that warrants the extra cash from the standard 12. And while I feel the Pro Max, which is due out and has extra features even over the Pro, and the 12 Mini, which again will have its own demographic, will appeal to certain styles of people, the standard iPhone 12 will be the biggest seller from Apple this year. In my opinion, it has the best bang for your buck. It's been a long day. Best bang for your buck. Best buck for your bang. Wow. For certain people at $799, it actually represents pretty good value for money. Not cheap, not great value, but for Apple, who price products pretty highly, there's a lot to love here. As I said earlier, if you are buying one of the new iPhones and do need a charger on top, today's video sponsor Anker can help. They have released a 20-watt fast charger designed for the brand new iPhone 12 series called the PowerPort 3 Nano. It apparently charges your phone 3 times faster than a standard 5-watt iPhone charger, whilst maintaining a similar portable size. It charges the new iPhones to their max speed using a Type-C port, so you can simply just plug in your Type-C to Lightning cable that comes in the new iPhone boxes and you're good to go. You can also use it to charge other Type-C devices as well, which is really handy. If you use the link in the video description below, you get 50% off exclusively at O2. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. Wow, light on, settle down, torch. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of the iPhone 12 and which in the series is your favourite. Which one are you going to get, or is there another phone out there that you prefer from a different brand? Let me know. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Subscribe and hit that notification bell if you love everything tech. I love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. ASBYT, peace out.
Do just what you want.